Welcome back to Retirement Coffee Talk with Sharice Rivers at Zinnia Wealth. Online, zinniawealth.com, ZINNIA wealth.com. So Dave Ramsey, he's got a show every single day, and he's out there helping people get out of debt, and that's been a wonderful thing. He also talks about some financial advice. Social Security came up not long ago, and Dave said this: you should take your Social Security at 62, even if you're working, if you are disciplined enough to invest it wisely. Now, Sharice, do you think that people are disciplined enough to take that Social Security check and invest it and make it work for them for later in life? I know I couldn't do it. What do you think?
I have had people do that and say, Sharice, I don't need this money, but I don't know how long I'm going to live. And if it's a break even, if it's 81, my parents didn't live to 80, so I'm probably not going to live to 80. And so I'm just going to go ahead and take it. And I will tell you over and over and over again, they're like, we're going to reinvest it. We're going to do this. I never see that money, ever.
I knew it.
It's good. I understand the heart's there, but then when you get it, we're like, "Ooh, what can I go buy?" Right? Or what can I got grandkids. Oh, Christmas came up. So I get it. So not too many people are that disciplined. I just came across another one. They're like, yeah, we're going to do this. And what I want to do is put it in here. I'm like, okay, I'll believe it when I see it, but let's just see where we go with it. But for them, the longevity, and they had some health issues, for them, it made sense to go ahead and collect Social Security at 62, right? So it depends on your health. It depends on your wealth, on if you should collect Social Security at 62 or 67 or wait to age 70. And it depends on if you're working or not, right? It depends if you just had somebody pass away. There's so many reasons to take it early or take it later. But I will tell you, my hard, fast rule here at the office and our staff and our team here says the same thing. If there's two people in a household, and let's say the Mr. is 64 and the Mrs. is 62, and if Mr. waits to 67 to collect Social Security, he gets $3,000 versus collecting it right now and only getting 25. It is better for the higher income earner to, if they are the higher income earner, to wait till age 67. And if the spouse who was staying at home with the kiddos and they didn't have much of a Social Security, if they can get $1,000 now collecting versus 13 or 1400, 5 years from now. Yeah, I'm going to say allow the person, and don't mark my words, I do not work for Social Security. I am telling you some math and how we figure some things out. Come see us before you make this decision. But it does make sense in math, when I'm doing the math, for the person who's going to collect less to go ahead and collect it early. Because what if you guys are healthy? But what if mom and dad lived to 80 or 90? But what if you passed away before 80? Then it would have been a better strategy to collect Social Security at 62. But the value of waiting for the higher income earner to collect their Social Security later is this. Let's say Mr.'s 64 and we said, let's wait till 67. When one of you pass away, here's the easiest way to understand it. One Social Security goes away, and it's always the smaller of the two. So if the Mrs. has 1,000 and Mr. has 3,000, the 1,000 goes away, as a matter of fact, how to look at it. And then you get to keep the 3,000. So you might as well let that $3,000 grow a little bit longer in case one of you do live past a certain age. So there's a little bit of a strategy. Once in a blue moon, we have somebody that's going to wait to 70. So it really depends on the household, how much you've saved. So we're going to take inventory. We're going to say, okay, here, what are all your fixed incomes? What are all your liabilities? What's our disposable income? Do we even have disposable income? And we sprinkle in the travel plan, and we figure it out based on that. So you bring in your box of stuff, and we're going to dump it out on the table, and we're going to start dissecting what you have and then put a plan together so we can really figure out the nuts and bolts of when you should take Social Security or not take Social Security. But I will forewarn you, never listen to these big gurus, because half the time they don't have a flipping clue. This is wrong intel, wrong information, but everybody bleeds and bows down to Dave Ramsey, but he screws up his conversation over and over and over again. And there's some things he says that are spot on, that are so right. I love the man. I was an ELP with the Dave Ramsey group, so they liked me too, but their strategy is different than my strategy. We're working with people 50 and over. Dave Ramsey's team's talking for a conglomerate of all ages, from ages 10 to ages 80, but it's the same story. So he can't do that. So if you want it more carved in for your plan, that's when you come and seek the advisor's advice that does this every day.
That's a great point. And I think I get it. There are some people that need to take Social Security at 62. That's fine. And we can identify that. If you're one of those people, then that will probably be the recommendation. And I realize that some people will say, hey, you can't pass on your Social Security, but you can pass on your 401k. So take your Social Security early. I get that too. But the part that I really raise my eyebrows at is take Social Security while you're working. Because there's a tax situation there that you may lose, half of your Social Security check because you're just pounding on income and you're losing half the check. So why is that such a good thing? That's where I have a problem.
Yeah, from ages of 62 to full retirement age, which could be 66 and 8 months or actually age 67, if you make too much money, and it doesn't have to be that much money to make too much money, they start taking, and you collect Social Security, they'll take $1 of every $2 out of your Social Security check. So you won't even see that money.
Yep.
There is something called Senior Citizen Freedom to Work Act. Now I'm geeking out, Randy. Sorry. But it does say if they take money out of your Social Security check, when you do hit full retirement age, they will pay that back to you, but not in a lump sum. It'll be over all these years, as long as you live long enough, of course, but that doesn't go to anybody if you die. So just know there's some rules. This is why you come see us. We do retirement planning. We geek out on all this stuff you don't even want to know about, but we're going to pinpoint it and we're going to shove it down your throat and say, this is why.
Okay. I love it. Well, let's sit down and have that conversation. If that's one of the things that you're wondering about or worried about, let's do the math on it and figure out what the options are there for you. Our number is this, 833-368-3680. Again, 833-368-3680, or our website, which is zinniawealth.com, ZINNIA wealth.com. There's a gold box there. It says complimentary retirement consultation. That's the meeting. That's where we sit down and really kind of go through some nuts and bolts of what you want to do, what you've done, and are there any gaps there to fill so that we can help you to do what you want to do in your retirement years. Again, zinniawealth.com.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Coffee Talk podcast. If you have questions or would like to begin the process of building a tailored retirement plan, call Zinnia Wealth at 833-368-3680 or find us online at zinniawealth.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Zinnia Wealth Advisory, LLC, a registered investment advisor. The firm only conducts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded from registration requirements. Registration is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Insurance products are offered through Zinnia Wealth Management, LLC, Florida license L078655, and Sharice Rivers, Florida license P037744. Zinnia Wealth Advisory, LLC, and Zinnia Wealth Management, LLC are affiliated entities. The information presented is believed to be current. It should not be viewed as personalized investment advice. All expressions of opinion reflect the judgment of the presenter on the date of the podcast and are subject to change. The information presented is not an offer to buy or sell or a solicitation of any offer to buy or sell any of the securities discussed. You should consult with a professional advisor before implementing any of the strategies discussed. Any legal or tax information provided in this podcast is general in nature. Always consult an attorney or tax professional regarding your specific legal or tax situation. Any client experience discussed on this show are unique to that client. Annuity and life insurance guarantees are subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. If you withdraw money from or surrender your contract within a certain time after investing, the insurance company may assess a surrender charge. Withdrawals may be subject to tax penalties and income taxes. Persons selling annuities or other insurance products receive compensation for these transactions. These commissions are separate and distinct from fees charged for advisory services. Insurance products also contain additional fees and expenses. Social Security rules and regulations are subject to change at any time. Always consult with your local Social Security office before acting upon any information provided herein. References to specific investments should not be construed as being past specific recommendations. The returns for various indices discussed in this podcast do not represent the performance of the firm or any of its advisory clients. Returns do not reflect the impact that advisory fees will have on an investment. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All investment strategies have potential for profit or loss. Different types of investments involve higher and lower levels of risk. There is no guarantee that a specific investment strategy will be suitable or profitable for an investor's portfolio. Historical performance returns for investment indexes and or categories usually do not deduct transaction and or custodial charges or advisory fees, which would decrease historical performance results. There are no guarantees that a portfolio will match or outperform a specific benchmark. Investments in fixed income products are subject to liquidity risk, market risk, index rate risk, credit risk, inflation risk, purchasing power risk, and taxation risk. Because bond prices fluctuate continually, their yields change constantly.